죽어, 다 죽어.
몇 번 푸는 거야?
It's so cold.
It was such a good here. So it's a magical.
세제곱 네제곱. 몇 번 푸는 거야?
Is it really to the fourth or
몇 번 푸는
cube?
건지 알아?
Cube, sir.
뭐야?
You can check it out. You know why? This is your polynomial of degree 5. This is degree 5. But if you put a 4 there, something's wrong.
Yes, sir.
That becomes a polynomial. That's a 4, degree 6. And it's only up to 5.
Yes, sir.
Where did you put the other degree? Where did you? Okay. So crosses the x-axis at -3. Is that right? Check your graph. Crosses the x-axis at -1 and changes concavity at x equals +2. Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So x equals 2 is what kind of an inflection point? Hello?
Yes, sir.
X equals +2 is what kind of an inflection point? Stationary or non-stationary inflection point? Stationary, right? Because the tangent at x equals 2 is also horizontal, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
이거 세제곱 어디서 나온 거야? 어떻게 나온 거야?
그러니까 1이잖아. 그러니까 이 제일 높은 게 5잖아. 1 더하기 1 더하기 4나.
그런 거구나.
How about number 3?
Number 3.
That's only a 4th degree, but look at the numbers, they're big. 315 there. But as long as you can get the graph using your GDC, maybe to get the values of those points where the graph crosses the x-axis, you have to adjust your windows.
Yes, sir.
Sir. Sir.
Sir.
Yeah?
Restrooms.
You have it?
Restrooms.
You have the graph there now, Chan? Oh, there is one point of tangency. That's degree 4. Okay. So what's that? 1 to -3. Can you go to the board and write down the factors now?
Sir, I don't know how to, sir, I guess I don't know how to write the factors.
Come on.
주원 will.
일단 우리가 말해줄게. 우리가 말해줄게.
If you have the graph
나보자. 자.
and the graph is clear, you can get the
맞아. X 플러스 7. X 플러스 3 제곱.
there are 2 points of tangency.
존나 이상한데.
That's already 5th degree. This is only 4th degree, Chan.
Ah. Okay.
All right. Did you get the same, Joshua? Same factors? Good.
Yes.
Everybody? What about Kara?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
너 근데 가운데가 제곱이 어떻게 한 거야?
Any questions before we go to the next slide?
이제 정수리 겁나 많네.
Do we still have time?
No, sir.
We have a lot of time. Oh, this is easy. Finding the zeros of a polynomial function. What do you mean by zeros? Those are the points where the graph of the polynomial crosses or intersects the x-axis. Okay? And look at the steps. You know this already. Factor px, the polynomial. Okay? Equate its factor to 0 and solve for the resulting equations. Or from the graph itself, you can get the zeros.
Yes, sir.
Okay? You can get the intersection of the graph of the polynomial with the x-axis, including those points where the graph is tangent to the x-axis, including those points where the graph is what? Having a
Inflection.
stationary or horizontal point of inflection. Okay. So this is a walk in the park. Right, Yusuf?
Yes, sir.
So can we now move on?
Yes.
Here is another thing that you should remember to use or know how to use, because it will help you, or they will help you verify the roots of the polynomial. Okay? But these are found in the formula booklet, so you don't need to memorize. Okay. If you have a polynomial function and you can factor this into several single factors like this. If you equate this to 0, then if you equate each one of these factors to 0 and solve for x, you will get x equals a, right? X equals b, x equals c, and so on. These are called the zeros.
Yes, sir.
Or the point on the x-axis where the graph will intersect. These are the roots of the polynomial equations. Roots of the polynomial equation. Alright? And according to this, one way of checking whether you have the correct roots is to get the sum and the product of the roots. The sum of the roots would be negative a sub n minus 1 divided by an. Now what are these an and an minus 1? Try to recall the expression for a polynomial. What is the form of a polynomial? Again, you have an x to the n plus an minus 1 x to the n minus 1 plus, and so on and so forth. plus a1 x plus a sub 0. Correct? This is the format of a polynomial.
Yes, sir.
This is your an, the coefficient of the xn term. An minus 1, the coefficient of the x exponent n minus 1 term. So there you go. This is negative an minus 1 over an. So negative an minus 1 divided by an. That is the sum of the roots. Okay? Product of the roots. Negative 1 raised to the n times a sub 0, which is that, the constant, over a sub n, which is this again. Okay? You don't need to memorize this, as I said, because it is in the formula booklet. But it will help you to verify whether the roots that you have found are correct or not. Okay? Questions, please. Number 2, we already know that. If you graph the polynomial function, shall we move on, guys? Sige nga, get the solutions or roots of the following equations, please. Without using your GDC, how will you work out letter A? You can see very, very clearly that one root is 0. Because you can factor out the polynomial here into x times the quantity x squared plus 4x plus 3.
Yes.
So in number 2, in number 1, one root or one solution is x equals 0. What are the other roots? In number 1, letter A,
집에 놀 거면 와갖고 먹기로 했으면
너가 집에 있나 봐.
많이 수업센터 나도 오늘 아마
so one root is x equals 0. What about the other two roots? Well, the other two roots can be obtained by equating this quantity here inside the parentheses to 0. So you have the x squared plus 4x plus 3 equals 0, which is simply a quadratic equation, I think it is easy to see that the quadratic can be factored. So the other roots are okay, there you go. Easy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
How about letters B and C are easy for you guys. Let's work out number 2. It's more challenging. Look at number 2, please. Can you help me out here in number 2? Given that mx to the 4th minus 5x plus n, and x to the 4th, these are two separate polynomials, huh? And x to the 4th minus 2x cubed minus mx squared minus nx minus 8 are both exactly divisible by x minus 2. Obtain the roots of the equation. Okay. Any suggestions, please? This question is tricky. Obtain the roots of the equation here. But before we can obtain the roots, we must know m and n. So we can get m and n from these two.
루트가 그거지. 나누기 할 때 나누는 수랑큼.
Given that both are exactly divisible by x minus 2.
무기란.
When you say exactly divisible, when you divide, the remainder is 0. So the value of this polynomial when x is 2 is 0. The value of that polynomial when x is 2 is also 0. So you get two equations, so you can solve for m and n. After solving for m and n, you put them here and obtain the roots, okay, of this equation. Put m here, put m and n here, put n there. Easy. Okay? After you have obtained m and n, to find the roots, or to find the zeros, okay, you can use your GDC if you are allowed to use your GDC. From the graph of your GDC, you can find the zeros or the roots, okay? Can you work it out now? First, you have to find the values of m and n. And values. What is that?
Found this online ID question.
19 point.
The trick is given already in the statement formula. Define the rectangle by the horizontal interval. And so, like the number of rectangles is how many ways you can choose the horizontal and vertical lines. So 6 choose 2 times. And then for the general case, it's n plus 1 choose 2 times.
What's the problem to find the number of rectangles? Oh, so many? And it says the square is also a rectangle. Yeah. Maybe you have to do row by row and then column by column. First row.
Why is it manual?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But sir, it could also be like,
1.
Then why is it manual?
No overlaps.
it could be,
All series.
no, it could overlap, so it could be like 2.
For example, if you consider this 3, forget about these 2 first. You consider this 3. There are 3 rectangles there, and then 1 rectangle, 2 rectangles. It's an overlap, including overlap. Really?
Yeah, all
That's challenging puzzle.
So,
Done, guys. The two there are solving a puzzle there. Okay, what's the values of M and N? Guys, done?
M is 1 and N is -6.
Okay, M is 1 and N is
-6.
-3?
6.
6. Oh,
and so it's just the,
And this is the graph.
and where is the graph? Oh, so that's a 4-degree polynomial, that's correct. So what are the roots now?
I have to solve.
1, -1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 6.
What's his 누에 이거 뭐지?
Any questions, guys?
So good job.
None? I think we have had enough for today.
Oh.
So, we have no questions tomorrow, right? Yeah. So our next meeting will be after
강아지들은 뭐지?
이거 아니야?
Next week.
next week. We have classes on Tuesday next week, which is what? February 27.
What?